If you look into their eyes, you see every evil you could ever imagine.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm Jeni.
And I'm Tressa.
Hey Tressa, do you remember when I was going to come up with a new intro and then I just never did?
Yeah, you didn't.
I read like 2 of them and they were great, and then I left off at I like sharks.
To be fair, it was really good.
I mean, I didn't think it could get better than that, so. I'm very excited about tonight's guest. It's been really rainy and gray and a little bit chilly.
Yes, all of those things.
Chicagoland area, and it's a real bummer.
It is, and I don't care for it.
And nor do I. So having tonight and having a fun guest on is frankly quite a relief.
Phew.
Whew. This woman's really cool. She is going to talk to us about 2 things on far ends of the spectrum here. We're going to talk about animal communication, and then we're going to talk about the dark side of the paranormal. So we're going to go from delightful creatures to maybe not so much.
Oh, that's a fun way to frame it.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. And since I knew that we were going to have this guest on, I now consistently look at my animals and wonder what they're thinking and what they would tell me if they could. And I don't want to know sometimes.
Yeah. I have been apologizing a lot to my dog.
Right?
You're not really stupid. I just say that because I'm a jerk.
I continuously ask my dog why he doesn't like other dogs. Yeah, he's not answering.
Oh, that's
and
weird.
I would like to know why the cat judges me on a regular basis.
I would like to know why my dog won't stop peeing in my house. That's weird.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Do you let your dog outside ever?
Where?
Outside.
I don't.
Oh, right. You are unfamiliar with the term.
Yeah.
So there is a space outside the door. If you open the door and you step.
Is that like the big window?
Forward. Yeah, it's like the big window.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
You can interact out there.
I don't see how that seems. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's beyond just going to the car.
You sound like a crazy person right now.
I don't think that I am in this particular moment.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, you know, whatever. Anyway. So June Lundgren is a psychic medium, an animal communicator, a healer, a nurse, a demon seer, which is terrifying.
Yep.
International paranormal investigator, and an author with over 40 years of experience in the paranormal field. As a child, she communicated with spirits, animals, and angels. She served in the military. Thank you for your service, June. Where she trained as a nurse and EMT. After returning from the military, she continued to work in the medical field as a nurse and is currently the founding member of ghostandgirlsparanormal.com. She also has several books out, which she'll talk about later, but please help me welcome June.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, June.
Hello, June. First of all, thank you for your service in the military.
Yes, thank you.
Very much appreciated.
That was a while back, from 76 to 81.
Oh. I would make it about 2 weeks.
Yes.
I believe in the military.
I don't know that I would make it 2 weeks, but yes.
No, I would cry. Probably try to hide underneath my cot.
Yes.
And that would be about it.
Basic training's the worst part. Once you get through basic training, everything is simple.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to make it.
Nope. Same.
Yeah, you have to get over, you have to do the obstacle course. Getting over 6-foot walls when you're 5'5", it doesn't work too well.
Oh.
No thanks.
I am also 5'5", so that sounds awful.
That was fun.
Is the trampoline provided for you?
No.
Or do you need to bring your own?
No, you need to take a run at it.
Nope. No running.
Not
no running.
Gonna happen.
Thank you very much.
Lots of crying, though.
Yeah, lots of swearing.
Yes.
Lots of crying.
Lots.
Probably asking for my mother, demanding to go home.
Yeah, it
attempted
was.
running away.
Yeah, we had bivouac, and it was 20 below chill factor.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
South
at least you were
Carolina.
inside, right?
No, South Carolina. He had sleep in pup tents.
Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tressa, are you going to be okay?
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna need a minute.
Yeah, I think you might.
yeah. It was cold.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Okay, so communicating with animals, which is something that I think we've all dreamed about, reading or seeing, Dr. Doolittle. I would like to know what they're thinking. How did this occur? How did this did a animal walk up and go like, "What's up, dude?" How did this
I've
how
always
did
been
it start?
able. I've always been able to understand them. I was like dumped on my grandparents when I was a few days old, and so my grandmother was a psychic medium, and she
Okay.
noticed that they lived on a farm, so she noticed that the animals would come and sleep under my crib and sit there and we would have conversations, and she was like, okay, so you can communicate with the animals, that's good. And she encouraged things like that, and she would take
That's
me out.
great.
She would take me outside and put me on a blanket, and the animals would come around, and and I'd visit with them.
So were these domesticated animals, or was it like a Snow White kind of scenario where like the birds get, you know what I mean? From like the old Disney movies
Well,
where
they had
like
a
it's a
farm, so
bluebird.
there was like cows and chickens and goats and of course the birds and owls and the dogs and the cats. So just whatever I came in contact with, they were kind of drawn to me because they could hear me. So
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely feeling this one. I spent a lot of time as a kid. I was partially raised by my grandparents, and we were out in the country and had all sorts of animals, and
yeah, yeah.
I wish they would have come up and hung out with me. I just chased them down. They were like, "No thanks, kid."
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
out of here.
Well, but that's the thing. It's a lot of people. Everybody can communicate with animals in some form or another. It's the energy that you give off.
Mhm.
Animals read energy more than anything. I have friends that are animal communicators, but everybody's different. Some get like pictures, some get feelings, some get just a word here and there. And I just have conversations, full on conversations, like I'm talking to you. Once they get it, when I start talking to them, once they get over the fact that they can understand me, then then they open up and we talk.
How are they talking? Are you vocalizing with them, or is it more like a
It's
telepathy
telepathic.
kind of thing?
It's telepathic, yeah.
Okay.
Just like when I talk to demons and ghosts and things like that, it's all telepathic.
Okay. Um, so so it's actual like words for you.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
can
for
sort of
me, it's
hear them in
words.
your
Yeah,
mind's ear.
we have a regular conversation. Yeah, because it's like there is no language barrier when I talk
Mhm.
to them. Whereas they bark and growl and stuff like that. But that when I talk to them and I communicate with them, it's totally different. And the reason for that is it's kind of like when I talk to demons. Demons communicate in Aramaic. They don't speak in
Mhm.
English per se. But when I died and went to the other side, I've always been able to communicate with everything. When I went to the other side, then I learned that my body was created to hold the Archangel Ariel. And that's why I can do the things I do.
Okay.
And,
So,
when she comes forward, when I do a removal or something, or I talk to an animal, people will see, like wings coming out of my shoulders and my eyes turn white, my face and voice changes.
wow.
So there are physical manifestations of her.
Okay.
Wh-
Are we going to move it back to go ahead.
I just real quick want to know, you said they speak in Aramaic. Does that mean you understand Aramaic and you can
Yeah.
speak it as well?
Yeah. My brain is hardwired to interpret.
Mm.
So what you would hear as Aramaic, I hear as English.
Okay.
I'd like to get back to the animals a little bit before we go into the darker stuff. I still have questions.
Mm-hmm.
My first question, does this make the dogs easier to train?
Oh,
It
good
does.
question.
It does actually.
It's no time at all.
Yeah. I have a friend that, he will, he'll call me and say, this is what he's doing. What can we do to help?
Mhm.
And so I'll talk to his dog and tell him, what his master, what my friend wants to do. And he's still a young pup, so he's just over 2, but they pretty much listen, and
Yeah.
I kind of talk to him and tell him, this will work out better for you, and you'll be able to understand each other better, and you'll be happier doing this and that sort of thing.
Does the animal communication include like wild animals, like
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. We have a place up in Washington, Tenino, Washington, called Wolf Haven, and it's all about rescued wolves.
Mm.
And so my son and I went up there for the first time about 15 years ago. And we walked through the gate, and I stopped and opened myself to the wolves that were there. And they all started howling at the same time. And,
Oh.
and the lady that runs the place says they never do that. And I'm like, well, whatever. And tell her
That happens all the time.
Okay, it's like, all right.
Oh, that's interesting. That's got to be a wild thrill. What do you go to zoos? What happens at zoos?
Oh, good question.
Same type of thing, if they're open to communicate.
Yeah.
But unless they're open, I don't communicate with them. They'll have to make the effort if they see something, or they're, like you or I be looking at an elephant and saying, wow, that's a big elephant. And, in our head, and they would pick up on that and say, I'm not big. I'm just fluffy, whatever.
I'm an elephant. What do you want?
Then that breaks the ice, so to speak,
Okay. Do animals need to be of a certain range of intelligence in order to kind of process the idea that you're communicating with them? Right?
No.
Like we know that elephants, dogs are a little bit smarter on the scale, but like a crocodile or like a snake or something.
No, it's not like that. It's like me talking to a little kid. They understand. When you tell them you want a cookie or whatever.
Okay.
It's the same type of thing. They don't have to be a high intelligence. The one thing that bugs me, I won't talk to bugs because they have no attention span.
It bugs you.
None whatsoever. No attention span whatsoever. I'm telling you right now. It's like,
so like the attention span of like a gnat.
Yeah. I think that's where they got it. I think that's where they got it from, because you try talking to a spider or a fly, and they're like off and never
I mean, to be fair, what's their lifespan? Like, they don't have time to
very much.
chit-chat.
I warn them, don't come in my house or your dog meat.
Yeah.
If they don't listen, then hey, not my problem.
Now, have you encountered animals that in general just seem more grumpy or like angry than any other animals? Like skunks always struck me as really mad animals, like a little bit angrier than usual.
Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that.
It's like that. It's a defense mechanism for them.
Yeah. That's what they say, but come on.
Well, you run across, grumpy, like people. You run across grumpy people. You run across grumpy cows, dogs, chickens. It don't make no difference. They all have their own personality. So it's like, yeah, okay. I'm having a bad day. Go away from me. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I like the idea of a curmudgeon old like possum, just like, get off of my lawn, kids.
Yeah.
It's not your lawn. You're on my lawn. What are you doing?
Yeah, we had some coyotes one time that they were, we had cows at the time. We had a white turkey. It was my son's turkey. And I warned it. I said, you stay with the cows. You'll be okay. Don't get away from the cows. And I warned the coyotes, because I can hear them down. My brother lives down the street from me, and he has like 8 acres of wooded area. Mm-hmm. So you can hear them yapping and stuff down there. I warn them, stay away from my cows, stay away from my, chickens, everything. And one time, one of them didn't listen, and it came and attacked the turkey, because it strayed away from the cows and it killed the turkey. But at the time I had 8 dogs, so I let loose my pack.
Oh, wow.
Oh, did you have the big boys, like the
I had
Anatolian
Doberman
shepherds?
Pinschers,
Oh,
Doberman
okay, got
Pinschers.
it.
And my one Dobie, my male, was 200 pounds and 6 foot from nose to tail.
Oh my gosh,
It's
that
what
is a
they call
massive
a
dog.
gladiator Doberman. It's a breed all its own. But yeah, it didn't get to eat the turkey, that's for sure.
Wow.
Jeez.
Well,
Animals
good
are
luck,
wild.
coyotes.
Literally sometimes.
Yeah, they're just, animals just like people, same type of thing. There's good ones, bad ones, and grouchy
Some that
ones,
don't listen.
and some that are mentally ill. They do have, some animals can become mentally ill as well. So
That doesn't seem fair.
No,
I
that
know
doesn't seem
it
right.
doesn't. It's not right. As far
I
as
mean,
I'm
we got capitalism to make us crazy. They don't have that.
Yeah, capitalism and the presidential election.
Yes.
That don't make
That's what I'm saying.
They're not worried about
none of
that.
stuff, man. None of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay. So how in general, how do the animals react? Do they even like people? Do they even want to be bothered with chit-chatting with us? Or like what's their
It's
their vibe?
even the grouchy ones that don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Once they realize that you can understand them and they can understand you, it's a whole different ball game for them. Then they start opening up and telling you, what's wrong. Like, you're being grouchy. What's wrong with you? What kind of things are going on? And they'll tell you, like, I had one lady and her husband, they called me and said, can you come and talk to our dog? Because ever since we moved here, the dog's been nipping at my wife, and he's never done that before in his life. And so I went over, and there was actually 5 of them, 5 dogs. But this one happened to be the leader. And I said, I talked to the dog, and I told him I would take care of it, because he told me that the wife was unstable and her energy was not good and something needed to be done about it. And I'm like, okay. So I talked to her and I said, listen, you moved here. I said, everything's new. I said, you're unsettled. I said, you're trying to get settled in. Everything's new. You're having stress. I said, all of that is the factor for the dog. He's just trying to do to you what he would to the other dogs if they were unstable. He would snap at him, make him get, like snap out of it. Stop that. Stop the behavior. You need to change because it's making the pack crazy, And so that's why I told her, I said, you need to change, I said, stop being so stressed, and you need to be aware of how you're feeling and what energy that you're projecting. And after that, they didn't have any problems. So just a matter of communicating and, getting both of them to realize, okay, this is why I'm snapping at you. And this is what I have. This is why he's snapping at me, because I'm unsettled. I'm very stressed.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about how our animals are better therapists than the people that go to school for it after this message.
Hey, boys and girls, Neil here from Graveside Paranormal Ghost Tours. Join us on October 26th in Watsika, Illinois for the seance at the Roth House, known for the story The Watsika Wonder, the first documented possession in America, or was it a spiritual miracle? In the end, you decide. We're going to be having ghost tours throughout the house every hour on the hour, from 1 p.m. to about 2 o'clock in the morning. We are going to have vendors. We're going to have speakers. Miss Diet Renee will also be out there doing the seance at 7:30 at night. And guess what, girls and boys? We are also going to be filming a documentary. So each and every one of you can be part of this unique experience. So go to gravesideparanormal.com to further details about our event, or on Facebook, and go to Eventbrite at The Seance at the Roth House. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and boo.
I think we should definitely be in that documentary.
I think you're right. I think we should go.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
you need to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen to
obviously.
June.
Just
She
us
knows what she's
walking
saying.
slowly in the background.
I know, right?
Hey, guys.
Hand dancing.
Like
Doing our famous hand
like the
dances.
Winchester Mansion, you know.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, just us.
Yeah, just passing through, just passing through. Yeah, don't interrupt us. We're having fun.
Yeah. Is it?
We will, Neil. We will come
We
out.
will. We
We
will.
will. That's a threat.
Is it
It's a promise.
telling?
I think it's
Is
a
it? Yeah. Also a threat. It definitely is a threat. We'll do it. Don't make us. Is it telling in any way, shape, or form that I am now very concerned that my animals find me unstable?
And like I said, it's just like people. You know, animals become unstable if things are, you know, like they don't like a lot of changes. Really, they don't like changes. I haven't met an animal that likes change. It's kind of like men. Men don't like change. Yeah, animals are kind of the same way. They like their routine. They like things to be stable. If you change things up on them, like here, you know, I have to tell them, you know, this is what we're going to do from now on. You know, you know, you're going to stop waking me up at 3 a.m. every day. Thank you. That didn't work though, because they like to wake me up at 3 or 4. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, of course they do. That's the best time to wake anybody up.
Yeah, it's quiet. Nobody else is up.
It's the best time to be up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's so much going on. You have so much space and freedom.
Yeah.
So you go and you help people communicate with their pets and like solve behavior issues or what have you.
Yeah, sometimes it's health issues, and all I need really is a picture of an animal. If I can't, you know, if it's like across the United States, or I've helped ones in Italy and England and stuff like that, then if I have a picture, then I can talk to them. And
really,
does that work?
I can make the link. It's simple, you know, for me. But I've been doing that forever.
And they just hear you?
Yeah, they hear me. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like getting on the phone. Yeah, what's going on?
They're not like, what is this person in my head? What's happening right now?
Well,
I don't like it.
First, I get a little startled, and then I explain to them who I am, what I am, and how I can help them. But usually, I don't have a problem because of the angelic energy within me. I've had, you know, where people have said, you know, I have a friend in England. I went to visit. She says, when you come, you're going to have to be careful because my pug doesn't like anybody other than the family.
You're like, we'll see about this.
He'll bite you and stuff like that. I said, no, he won't. Don't worry about it. I walked in the door. He didn't even bark. He started licking my leg. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
He gets it.
It's all right.
What is the most strange, like wildest animal that you have communicated with? Like almost to the point where it's been like a little bit surprising.
Trying to think. Probably a hyena.
All right. What's a hyena thinking?
Did you tell it any jokes?
No, I don't know very many jokes, but it was like looking at me and like, no, I'm not dinner. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not dinner, you know, and I'm not crazy and I'm not trying to bother you, because he was like massively grouchy. And I explained to him who I was, what I was, and that if he needed something, you know, he could tell me and I'd tell the keepers and it'd be okay. So he decided to talk to me after a few minutes. So
was it like at a sanctuary or something?
No, it was at a zoo. You know, he wanted more beef. Imagine that.
Who doesn't?
As one does.
Yeah. He doesn't like chicken so much. He wanted more beef and he wanted lamb if he could get it. And I'm like, okay, I'll tell them.
A lamb. All right. Getting a little specific there, hyena.
Expensive taste.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, okay. So I told the keeper, I said, this is what he's telling me. They looked at me like I was strange. I said, no, I explained to him what I do. And they said, well, he does have a tendency to hog the beef when they get beef to give him, you know. Yeah. They rarely get lamb, but every now and then they do. And he tries to take it from the others. So.
Okay.
Sounds like a real jerk. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's the alpha. So he was the
There you
alpha.
go.
I'm the alpha. I get stuff.
I should get everything. Nobody should get anything else,
That sounds like a man.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
They're right
does.
up there.
All right. Let's end the animal discussion with your best experience with an animal, like either helping or, like where did you feel like you had done the best?
There was a wolf that was up at the sanctuary, and she was having a hard time making the transition from, she was kept by someone as a pet.
Okay.
And of course, she was caged up all the time. And she was having a hard time communicating with the other wolves because it's like she had been raised by a human, and it was not a good circumstance.
Yeah.
So I helped her to understand, that these are your brothers and sisters. This is where you're supposed to be. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. You're free. Said you need anything or you're hurting, you just make sure that you tell people about it. Or, I said you need to get along with your brothers and sisters because, everybody is free here and everybody can do what they want. You're never going to be hurt again. You're never going to be locked up again. That was a big thing for her, was not being locked up in a cage.
Was it freeing or was it scary to not be locked up for her?
She was so uncertain of what was going on, but once she realized that she didn't have a wall to run into or a bar to stick her nose through, then she was good.
That's awesome. That's a good story. I like that one.
Yeah, I like them when I can help them, acclimatize to a new situation for the better and not for the worse.
Yeah. Have you heard if she's doing better since then?
Oh yeah.
She did better. She did a lot better. Like in a couple of weeks, she was much more friendly. She was mingling with the other wolves and things like that. So it was good.
Oh wow.
I hear from time to time to let me know that she's doing well.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. For some reason now I'm just imagining a wolf out there sending you like Christmas cards every year. It's like a paw print and just like gotta let June know that I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I get messages telepathically from them. Once I connect with them, I'm connected until they die.
Does that get confusing? Are you like, wait, who is this?
No, I remember each and every one of them. Each and every one of them have a different energy. And
I don't know how I could remember each and every person I've ever met.
I can't. Yeah,
and seeing face to face.
People not so much, but animals. I got my husband a shirt that says, mess with my dogs and they'll never find your body.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I do understand that because I will not remember someone's name, but I will absolutely remember the name of their 4 animals.
Yeah. Or the situation where the animals were in or what they were rescued from and things like that.
Oh man.
I have a lot of people that want me to talk to their animals that they adopt the animal from a rescue and they don't know what kind of situation that the animals come from.
Oh.
And so I can talk to them and I can see in their head what happened in the past.
All right. I'm sending you 2 pictures after this. First of all, the dog so that you can tell the dog that other dogs are fine to play with. And then I need to know what happened to my cat's tail.
Well, send me the picture.
Like it has become a need to figure out where this tail went.
Yeah. Just send me a picture and I'll just email me a picture.
I'm on it.
I'll talk to him and find out.
We gotta do a follow-up.
Seriously, I will be announcing where Merlin's tail went.
Yeah, this is where Merlin's tail went.
Like, all right, guys, mystery is
solved by magic. He didn't use the wand and make it disappear. Thank you.
Exactly.
Are you sure? Cause his name.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why he's named that way. We don't know what happened. Yeah. Did it get stuck on the other side? I don't know. Anyway, this has all been cute and everything.
Well, let's
No,
get
this
down
has
to
been
it.
very, very interesting, and I love this. But we're going to go a little dark, into the darker side of the paranormal. And you've kind of referenced this a little bit prior in our discussion, but demons. So you see demons.
I see them in their true form, unlike humans,
Yeah.
because when I died and went to the other side, I've always known I was different and I could do all these different things. So when I went to the other side, Michael, the archangel, was there waiting for me. I was in a motorcycle accident. A woman ran a red light and hit me on my bike.
Holy
I was
cow.
clinically dead for almost 3 minutes.
Holy mackerel.
I went to the other side and my grandparents were waiting for me, and Michael was there, the archangel. And he said, you need to understand why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
He says, your body was created to hold Ariel, the archangel. She's one of the 5 that guard the throne of God. She's also a demon slayer. And so he touched my forehead, and I saw everything, all the lives that she's lived in the physical world reluctantly. She was sent back to live human lives because archangels do not reincarnate. She was sent back because in 1198 AD, a woman cried out for help because she was possessed by a demon. So God sent Ariel down to do the removal, but she had no care for her. She just went in and ripped the demon out of the woman, and the woman's body died.
Yeah.
Hey.
But the soul was released to heaven. And God called her on the carpet for it, basically, and said, you have no compassion for man. You have no care.
That's not why you went down there, lady. There's protocols.
Yeah, and she says, you know what? This person summoned the demon, and then they want us to take it away. She says, you see what they do with their lives, And she went on and on. And God said, you know what? I'm going to send you down and you're going to live human lives.
No!
Yeah, so you learn to have compassion for mankind.
Is that the lesson you're going to learn as a human? Or are you going to make them less desirable in your head by getting to know them better?
Exactly. But this is her 131st lifetime. And I've seen them all. And so this is a lifetime where she's finally got a clue. She's more compassionate in this lifetime than she is in all the other ones,
I would hope so after 131. Jiminy cricket.
Yeah, she's tired of this physical world. But,
Tressa, I bet she hates capitalism too.
She has to.
Right?
She doesn't.
She hates anyone who harms animals. Oh my God. She just wants to take them out.
It's natural.
Yeah.
That's normal and natural.
But
I guess.
I've seen my death. I die at 93. I go to sleep and I don't wake up. And I'm good with that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, because my other deaths weren't so good. I was strangled, burned at the stake, things like that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
that sounds painful.
So good,
No, thank you.
No good deed goes unpunished,
So what do demons look like? I mean, is it like the stereotypical kind of?
No.
Or what do we got?
It's not what Hollywood does. It's not what people think. People would normally see a demon as like, half man, half goat, or horns, or something like that, But the reason a person will see them in ways like that is because they look into your mind. They go into your mind and they find the image that you think that they should look like. And so they show themselves to you as that image, but only 100 times worse.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how they work it. But the thing
is diabolical.
It is. They're all about scaring the bejesus out of you, But I see them as they're a lot like archangels in some ways. I guess you could call it physically. They're 7 foot tall. They have a 12-foot wingspan, just like archangels do. But that's where it ends, because archangels and other angels have features like we do, normal features. They have their face is almost non-existent except for the eyes. The old demons and the ancient demons and Lucifer, they all have golden eyes.
Okay.
And the lesser demons and the minions and things like that, they all have red eyes. But if you look into their eyes, you see every evil you could ever imagine, and worse than your biggest nightmares. It's so nasty. So I was seeing them like that since 4.5.
Oh, good.
Oh, good
geez.
Lord.
No, that's too young. Listen,
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's too young.
Listen, there should be a 12-year-old like age limit. It should be movie rating.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
well, that's what I said. When I first started seeing them like that, it's like I told my grandma, I said, I don't know, these are nasty. And so Michael popped in and he said, you're seeing them through the eyes of an angel. So this is how we see them.
Mm-hmm.
He said, June, I want you to watch them. I want you to learn how they work. I want you to see what they do to people. He says, I will make sure they can't see you, but you can see them. So, when you're a kid, you think it's a game. So I was doing that clear up until I was 18 years old when I left for the military, and Michael says, they're going to see you now from now on.
No, please,
Oh.
thank you, no.
And I said, okay. All right.
How has that affected you, having them see you?
It's like, well, that's the thing, it's the first time I dealt with one-on-one was when I was in the Air Force, and I was working in an emergency room. I got called over to the air base, and they had a young man that had disappeared for 3 days, and that was not like him. And so basically they wanted us to be there when they opened the door in case he was dead, so we could haul away the body, So we get in there, and the guy's like huddled in against the wall in a ball, and I couldn't tell whether he was breathing or not. So we had to go over, and then he was breathing, but his heart rate was very slow. And then I heard a noise. I looked up to the corner, and there's a demon up there waiting for him to die.
Oh.
So I said, we need to get him out of here. The tech that I was working with, his grandmother was a voodoo priestess. So I said, so when I tell him we got to get him out, he knows that we got to get him out. So we got him out, and we took him back to the emergency room. I went out to get stuff to start an IV on the young man. And when I came back into the exam room, the demon was leaning over him, trying to suck the life force out of him.
That's not fair.
And that's the first time Ariel came forward, and she told him, this one belongs to us.
Oh, wow.
And the demon left in a hurry.
Oh, good. Okay, I have a couple more questions right after this break about demons. Wait, the break's not about demons. My questions are. Okay.
Oh, darn it. Oh.
Oh, hey, Tressa. Jeni? Oh, I'm just reading my book by international TV sensation, Dave Schrader. I'm reading the book, too. I don't remember the name of it or who wrote it, but yeah. There, I like your shirt. You? I got it on monstersloungepodcast.com. You've got a great shirt, too. Oh, that's so weird. I got it at monstersloungepodcast.com, too. They have really great stuff. A full variety. I know, right? They have everything. Shirts. Tote bags. Clutches. A phone case, I think. It's the best.
I'm never replacing that. So anyway, do you ever see, if someone is possessed, do you see the demon before you see the person? Is it like an amalgamation of different features? What's going on there?
If I get a call and somebody, I did a show called Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, and I got over 300 calls for help in the first week.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, so I get this lady, she's like, I'm possessed, I'm like, okay, I said, send me a picture, because sometimes,
Mhm.
you get people who are mentally ill.
Of course.
So, she sent me a picture. I'm like, really? Bloody hell. Okay. I could see that there were 11 demons.
Oh,
Wait, what? Hang
Yeah.
on.
they're just
Yeah.
having a picnic. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
What do they?
She'd been dealing with this for 20 years.
20 years.
So I have a friend that he's an ordained minister. And then one of the girls that is in my Ghosts and Girls Paranormal, she went with us. I told her, said, we're going to go over to her place. I'm going to remove the demons. I said, you need to protect yourself because this is something you haven't encountered before. So we went over.
What a way to start, too. Just jumping right in.
Yeah, I knocked on the door, and she opened the door, and it wasn't her. Her eyes were black, and she was growling and telling me in Aramaic, get the F out, and slammed the door. My friends are looking at me like, what?
Yeah,
That's
like,
just rude.
I'm like, don't worry about it.
It's not.
Knocked on the door again, and it was her, and she was in control for the moment. So we went inside, and usually it only takes me a few minutes to remove one. But because there were 11 in them, it was really, you have to take them one by one.
Sure.
And so it took me about 2.5 hours to remove the first 10.
Oh, my
And
God.
the last one, I can go into their minds and see what they've been doing, how they found the person, and what their goal is with this individual. So I saw that it was hiding out from Lucifer because it had been given a job to do, an assignment, and it just blew him off. And you just don't do that to Lucifer.
I get it. You hide in the break room. Maybe you have to pee for a really long time.
Figure you got 10 others in there. He's not going to find them. There you go.
Right.
And I told it, I said, if you want to go home to the light, I said, you can. And he's like, really? And he's like, are you sure? And I said, yeah. So I said, Jesus, come forth. And both my friends are standing in front of me, and I'm standing behind the woman in the chair, and they part as this huge white hand comes out towards the woman. And the demon was tempted, and then it said, no, you're lying. You're lying. I can never go home. So Jesus withdrew his hand. And I said, so be it. I said, Lucifer, come forth.
Oh, you called his boss.
Oh, man, you called his dad, and you were like, hey, listen.
And so my friend saw this. My friend saw this entity appear at the end of the hallway, and we'll start walking towards us. And it was Lucifer. They saw some, a shadow person in a fedora, double-breasted suit, spats. But I saw him in his true form.
Spats.
And spats from the 1920s.
Yeah, I love it.
That delights me.
And he says, "Demon, come with me." He called the demon's name. He said, "Come with me," and the demon refused. And Lucifer looked at me and says, "I know you don't want me to harm the woman, so I will come back for it tonight." So he turned around and walked away. Then I told the woman, 11 are gone. I said, Lucifer will be back for the other one tonight.
That's not going to comfort me.
That's not comforting at all. And also was like Lucifer just like, hey, I'm giving you this one because you narked out my my little, AWOL.
He owes me several favors, but
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either. It is not good.
It's good when they owe you. It's good when they owe you a favor, not when you owe them one.
Yes.
Like any sort of interchange with favors, it could get a little risky.
There is that respect between the Legion of Light, which are Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Ariel. There is that respect. So, believe it or not, they do have respect for that. And so he turned around and left. And then We all woke up in our respective beds at 3 a.m. and heard it's done.
Oh.
Lucifer say it was done. So I called the woman the next day and she says, it's been 20 years since I felt empty. She says, I feel empty. I said, please go and get some help, some counseling. I said, you have PTSD.
Yeah.
20 years of having these things in you. And I gave her the name of a specialist that I knew of that worked with people like
That's
that.
great.
And that was kind of different. We let, my friends look at me like, my friend that's the ministry says, I've always known that God existed. I've always known that the devil existed. He said, but to virtually see them in the same place at almost exactly the same time, he said, that just blew me away. And even this was like 6 or 7 years ago. And even to this day, it boggles his mind. And I said, I laughed at him. I said, well, you didn't know your friend moved in these exalted realms. Huh? You gotta have you gotta have a sense of humor about it. It's
old hat. I see this stuff every day. It's fine.
I've been dealing with Lucifer forever, and it's like people always think he's like, really nasty, and he is, but you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. I mean, he's not going to do you any favors, but
he's got to be a little bit of a gentleman if he's wearing spats.
Yeah, right? And a double-breasted suit.
And a fedora.
Yeah.
Do we know what that job was that demon didn't want to do? I want to know what that job was.
Yeah,
he wanted him to possess an archbishop.
Oh, well, he already possessed someone. Was that going to be, the problem?
Yeah. Was that just going to be more difficult?
An archbishop, and they didn't want to do it.
Well, okay. I don't see it like it's still a person.
I know, right? Well, see, people think that when you talk about possession that it's 24/7. Really, it's not. The only time it is if you have more than one demon. Because what started the war between heaven and hell didn't exist at that time, was the fact that Lucifer and his followers did not want to be subject to a physical body, to growing old, disease, pain. They didn't want that. So that's what started the war between, heaven and hell, so to speak. But so that's why that you won't find one in possession. If there's one alone, you won't find it in possession 24/7 because they hate being in the physical. They hate being trapped in a shell.
We're like hotel rooms.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Really, really crappy hotel rooms.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. There you go.
That one. I want to know about curses, but I have one question about possession. Who's possessed in the spotlight? Who's the famous people that are possessed right now?
She can't say that.
Come on, tell me.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
Tell you that.
I can't, because there's a lot of people that.
Come on, Tressa.
I mean, maybe like a rhyming word. No,
a lot of them I get in trouble. So
let me ask you this: would we be surprised?
No.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, got it. Cool. Notes taken.
Not a bit.
Got it. So I want to know about curses. How can one? Is it like? Can the layman do a curse? Can some jerk off the internet just be like, hey, I read this thing off of Reddit. I know how to do a curse now, and I'm going to foil this person's plans for life. Or
no, there's no such thing as a curse.
Then we'll end the show right now.
Not the way Hollywood.
Boom! Air horn.
Yeah, not the way Hollywood makes it out to be. There's two reasons for quote unquote a curse or a generational curse. And what it is the first one is, say your great grandpa pissed some woman off,
and she went on Reddit
and she died. But she says, I curse you and all your descendants, blah, blah, blah. And she died. So what it is it's that soul remains earthbound, and it causes problems for the great grandpa, and then his child, and then his child, and then his child. Okay, it's just like boom, 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 because there's no time on the other side. So
right.
They can be, it can be 2 minutes ago for them, and be like 50 years for us. The other thing is it can be a demonic attachment, and they can be generational as well. They can decide to make that person's life a living hell, and then, attach themselves when they die, attach themselves to the child or somebody else in the family. That happens, because they, like I said, they can do whatever they want. So unless somebody removes it, it's just going to continue.
Is it like a possession? Is it the same thing, or is
it's an attachment where they can influence you. They influence others around you. A lot of people think if the demon is attached to, say, John Doe, okay, that nobody else has to suffer, but that's not true, because it affects the inner circle of that individual, and it can affect anybody that the person cares about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how they work.
So how do you remove an attachment?
You kill the demon.
That doesn't... How do I do that?
Yeah.
But you can't unless you have an archangel inside of you. If you have an archangel inside of you, you can kill a demon. We do battle with you do battle with a demon on a whole different plane of existence. There's like the physical realm, then there's a realm where the ghosts kind of hang out, and then there's the realm that I call no man's land, and it's between heaven and hell, and it can be anything you want, but it's basically no man's land. I create a big field where, they would do battle back in the days when they had, like swords and broadswords and shields and things like that. And that's where you do battle with the demon and you kill it. And that's one of their fears, because, people think, oh, demons aren't afraid of anything, but they have fears. And they have, one of their biggest fears is being killed. And they know that only an archangel can kill them. So, and the Legion of Light was created by God long before the war between heaven and hell. It's comprised of Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Ariel. And these are the demon slayers, the elite demon slayers. And they train the warrior angels and the other archangels that do demonic slaying. And, they fear them. The demons fear them because they know that they will kill them. Because when they die, they cease to exist. We die, we come back again.
All right. Yeah. So is every attachment then a demon? Is that always the case?
No, you can have human attachments. You can have people that, like I had a lady that had an attachment. She said she thought it was demon, but it wasn't a demon. It was just a nasty human. And the person looked like somebody that the ghost, knew and wanted revenge on. Even though it wasn't the same person, but it looked like them. So they decided to attach themselves and make this person's life miserable.
So can that be considered then like a curse, just the attachment of that?
Yeah, like I said, with the great grandpa,
right.
messing with them. Yeah.
How do you get rid of that attachment if you wouldn't kill that in the...
No, I don't kill the human ones. I just send them into limbo. So. I create what's called an infinity orb. It's like if when you're a kid and you blow a big giant bubble,
Sure.
Okay, well, I can create what I call an infinity orb, and that's what they call it on the other side. And you entrap the soul in there and you send it into limbo.
That sounds worse than not existing.
Yeah, it really
limbo
does.
Is kind of like it's kind of like solitary confinement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
They're checked on by the archangels, the guards, the archangels who guard it. And they're checked on from time to time to see if they're repentant about what they did, if they're going to change or not. And if they don't, then they leave them in there and they check on them again in a few hundred years. Because over there, 100 years is like 2 minutes. You know?
Time is fake. We all know that.
Yeah. Time's just a construct made up by capitalists.
That's
I don't know. I'm trying to link it up to something
it's kind of like religion. It's man's way of trying to put a round peg in a square hole.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. This is the way of Tressa.
He says, I didn't create religion. It's man's answer to, putting a square peg in a round hole. He says, I didn't do that. He says, I prefer people to be spiritual.
Yes.
Religion is man-made.
Obviously. People, stop it. Let's just go back. That's fine.
Yeah. You need to be spiritual, not religious.
No, they don't care. They just want us to be decent. Why is it so hard to be decent?
If you do, if you live your life and try not to do harm to anyone and be a good person, then it's like God said, that's all I care about. He says, you're good to others, you're good to yourself, and you don't cause harm to other people or animals or anything like that.
What if you just cause a minor bit of harm?
Well,
Like a rapscallion
what do you got
amount
planned,
of
Jeni?
harm. Don't you worry about it.
Okay.
uh-oh. But, it's true. Revenge is mine, saith the Lord. And it's true, because if you try to get revenge, it comes back and slaps you in the face. And it's never good. It's never good. Believe me, it's never good.
We really have to think
I
about
have a
this
question.
revenge on a co-host. What?
Yeah.
Excuse me? What are you saying?
I'm sorry,
Jeni?
what now? I love
nothing.
you. You're the best.
So I just have one final question before we wrap up. You ever chat with Jesus every once in a while?
Oh, yeah.
He's okay. I have a
Very
theory.
interesting.
Hang on. Here's a theory.
He's super funny, right?
He has a good sense of humor. God
What's
has
that?
a good sense of humor too.
How could you not?
It's a little bit warped, but still there.
Listen, confirmed. That's all I wanted to know, because we joke, we have fun, we have a good
You
time.
have to have
We
a
do.
good sense of humor. I mean, it's like, because Jesus has been back several times. It's not just the one time. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Just to laugh.
You guys are dumb.
Well, no, his father sends him back to see the changes in mankind and the changes in the world. It's one thing to look at it from where he is, but to experience it is something else, because he's never been physical, so he doesn't understand. So that's why his son will come down and live a life like his last lifetime was in the Holocaust. He died in the Holocaust as a little boy.
We're doing great down here.
Because he
We're
wanted
doing
to
so
know-
good.
Because the cry from the people was so great.
Yeah.
So he sent down, his son, and his son's like, this is what's going on.
It sucks down here.
Yeah.
Please send help.
Yeah.
All right. So
We got to wrap up. So please give us all of your promo for all the stuff that you want people to know about.
Okay. So we're going to hold the Oregon Ghost Conference. Happens the third weekend in March. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And I'll be lecturing and speaking and teaching classes there. And I released my new book this last June called Dark Encounters. It's some of the worst encounters from what I do.
Okay.
And then I have one that I'm working on called The Angel Primer. And it talks about, because there are over 300,000 warrior angels born into physical right now, and over 3 billion of them in spirit form walking the earth. So when they're born in physical, most of them, 99.9% of them, don't know who and what they are.
Oh.
And what they can do, what their abilities are, and things like that. So the Angel Primer is a book that tells them and instructs them on how to do things, how to protect themselves, how to, create swords of light.
Does it tell them how to identify that they're angels?
Yes.
Okay.
And each warrior angel has a name, and it has its own specialty. And they only give the name once because the name is powerful for them.
All right. So where else and what else can we find you on?
My website is mysticconnections.org, and you can find all my books on Amazon. There's I think there's 10 or 11 of them on there. A couple of children's books, which I wrote long before I wrote the dark ones. But anyway, because I like animals, so they both have animals in them. Needless to say.
Fantastic.
All of that information will be in the show notes. So if you need a link, just go there because it'll be there.
I have a YouTube channel, Ghosts and Girls Paranormal.
Nice.
So, and you can find me on Facebook, June Lundgren, I'm on there. I'm on Instagram, like that,
All of the things.
June, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on the show. This has been great.
So much. I have a few more questions, but next time. Everybody else! Don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the Paranormal 60 Network. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out our merch on our website, monstersloungepodcast.com. Send us an email or a comment. We love hearing from people. So until next time, thanks for joining, or whatever, the Monsters Lounge.